everybody's kind of settling in. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Kevin Barnett. I'll be emceeing the event a little bit here tonight for the actual formal induction ceremony. It's always a nice time that everyone gets an opportunity to be here at the Volleyball Hall of Fame. I know a lot of folks, especially the international inductees, have never seen the Volleyball Hall of Fame, never had an opportunity to look through all of the other honorees who are here and all the volleyball memorabilia, the history of the game, and of course the displays of our current inductees. It's really a neat opportunity for everyone here to, I think, probably learn something new about the sport that they played such a big role in. To move forward, I'll give it to President and 2015 National Sitting Champion, Steve Bishop.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the International Volleyball Hall of Fame. On behalf of our board of directors, we welcome you here today. Today's a very special day, a day that we get to recognize honorees and inductees into the class of 2017. Today we'll present them with their official jackets, their rings. We'll have an unveiling of their plaques, which will be presented to them tonight at the end of the induction ceremony. So I'm going to ask you to be patient here and to warm your hands up, because we're going to do a little bit more clapping and recognition for quite a few companies and individuals that make this possible each year. It's probably safe for me to tell you, as the board president, the Volleyball Hall of Fame here in Holyoke operates primarily on sponsor support and volunteers. Very small, compact organization. We have a staff of one, which I will introduce you to momentarily. So it's very important for us to take just a brief moment and recognize those companies and individuals that make this possible. So I want to recognize our sponsors. It's a very sizable list. First, the City of Holyoke, who is hosted our event last night at the Mayor's reception. Spalding, which is a presenting sponsor for this weekend. USA Volleyball, Jamie Davis is here, we'll introduce him momentarily. Holyoke Gas and Electric, Cargill and the Big Y. Dowd Agencies, they sponsored the Mayor's reception last night. Mizuno USA, sponsoring a meet and greet. Shelby and Mary were with us last night as well. PSI 91 is our Hall of Fame award sponsor, and Den Brothers, trophy company that assist us with the production of all those awards. Holyoke Prints, both David and Dennis Hohenberger are here. You'll see them snapping pictures throughout the day. Boston Sports Institute, Sports Engine, they were the sponsor of our Friday night social last night. It's a very exciting relationship. They'll also be working on the launch of a new website that we'll be working on in the next year, volleyballhistory.org, and that's going to be eventually the most comprehensive historical database and online digital museum for the International Volleyball Hall of Fame. So that's a new project that Sports Engine is helping us with. And then our media sponsors that are here today from the SpikeNet, gentlemen we introduced to you last night, both Hector and Carlos, also working the cameras and doing a lot of great video recaps after each one of the events. So if you would, please put your hands together for all of our sponsors. We have some very special guests in the audience, and we'd like to recognize them at this time. First, from the New England region of USA Volleyball, the host region, where we're having all of our ceremonies this week, please recognize Dave Pexoto, the commissioner. From the Florida region of USA Volleyball, my home region, I have two of my staff here with me. We have Chris Hamilton in the back, our director of beach programming. And up here in the front, assisting SpikeNet, our marketing coordinator, Brady Clausen. This year, we launched a new program. It was called the VIP Induction Experience, and we allowed individuals from across the country to purchase a ticket and an opportunity to win an all-expenses paid weekend here at the International Volleyball Hall of Fame, and behind the scene access to the inductees, particular couple, I think, was probably the best one that could have been randomly picked out of a hat. Of all of those individuals, I'd like to introduce to you from Jacksonville, Florida, Rob and Mary Holly right here. The CEO of USA Volleyball is here with us today. Recently joined the family, the volleyball family. I got a chance to watch him kind of walk around and let all of this get soaked in as he gets a little more backstory on our sport and the historical part of it. So please welcome Jamie Davis. We're very honored by our international guests that are here, of course, and with us today from the Dutch Volleyball Federation, the president, Peter Springer. And we have several past leaders from the Haitian Volleyball Federation. Now we'd like to introduce some past presidents, Guy Washim, Bernard No, and the current president, Margaret Grant. Thank you all so much for coming and celebrating with us. We also have with us some of our past Hall of Fame award winners, and we want to take a moment to recognize them. The 2015 Court of Honor recipient and president of the Holyoke Chamber of Commerce, Kathy Anderson. Kathy, did you make it today? Some of our past Mentonet winners are also here today. 2007 winner, Bill Collimore in the back. 2009 recipient, Fran Hamill, also. 2013 recipient, Joel Deering. And our 2016 recipient, Doug Beal. Also, we have former inductees here with us today. Those who have gone through this in the past. It probably looked a little different during those years, perhaps. But they still had the opportunity to walk through these doors for the first time, to be recognized for their life's body of work in the sport of volleyball. And we want to recognize them today as well. From 1989, and the Hall of Fame inductee from the United States, also, once again, Doug Beal. 1994 inductee from the United States, Mark Dunphy. A name recognized by many from the 2001 class of the International Volleyball Hall of Fame, Karch Kirat. And finally, a 2014 inductee from the Netherlands, Joop, Alberta. We have some of our board members, honorary members, and advisory members that work diligently behind the scenes with our group and our leadership team to keep the hall moving forward. It's very important that you have an opportunity to get to know who they are. These are the volunteers that work behind the scenes and keep this organization operational. So I've introduced some of them. You'll recognize some names. Quite a few of them wear many different hats as far as their association with the Hall of Fame. Dave Pexoto, Graham Hamel, Aaron Blanchard, Chris Stearns, and Joel Deering. About Chris and Joel, I'm in my 7th year of being associated with the board and the hall, and Chris and Joel, they undertake the inductee interviews each year, and so the amount of time that they both spend working behind the scenes to try and research each one of the inductees, coordinating traffic, getting the media center at Holyoke High School to cooperate, participate in the event each year, countless members, Doug Beal. And two board members that we recognized the other night for exemplary service to the Hall for a long period of time. And if you've been kind of observing at any of the events that you've been at thus far, they were there when you got there. They had been there for hours. They were there after you left, getting things taken down and put away. So those individuals, three of them that I've been watching do this work behind the scenes. First is Heidi Johnstone. And the two individuals that we recognized the other night with our President's Award, it's a new award recognizing exemplary service to the Hall of Fame here. First, with 12 years of continued service, Rick Berry. And the second recipient of the President's Award with 23 years of volunteer service to the International Hall, Charlie Diener. And we do have a hired staff member. He probably fills the role of about 3 staff members in most corporations. And he works so very hard. He has a heart and a passion for the sport, a heart and a passion for the Hall of Fame. It's an absolute pleasure for me to get to work alongside him, help mentor him in his career, guide him, lead him, and be a partner and a friend as he does the daily business of the Hall. Many of you have received emails from him, obviously. And the most exciting one was that you're getting inducted, and apparently you all had to read it a couple times and make sure that it had gone to the right place. But I'd like for you to give a very special welcome and a round of applause to our Executive Director, George Moley. At this time, I'd like to ask Kevin Barnett to come back up to the microphone. He's going to recognize our 2 Medallion of Merit recipients for 2017. And then after that, we will introduce our class of 2017 and present them with their jackets and their rings. So Kevin, if you would join me here.
I think it's important to recognize how much work goes into this weekend, but how much work goes into making this thing even exist. I've always been impressed with the folks here when I've come, the first time I've been here in a while, with what they're able to do with what they're given to make this hall possible and to make this night possible. So we'll start with our Mintonette Medallion of Merit winners. Who doesn't know what Mintonette is? That's the question. Some people don't. The original name of volleyball, Mintonette. Glad they changed it, by the way. Dr. Horst Backe of Germany. That's fun. A former coach of the German Volleyball Federation, Backe's leadership contributed to many of Germany's successes, including 2 Olympic silver medals, one in 1972 for the men and one in 1980 for the women. Former president of the FIVB Coaches Commission, author or co-author of 6 books on volleyball, volleyball training, and mini volleyball, including the FIVB Coaches Manual. Mintonette Medallion of Merit winner, Dr. Horst Backe of Germany. Dr. Backe was unable to join us, however, this next honoree was able to be here, along with many of his closest friends, which is great. Jacques Joachim, founder of the Haitian Volleyball Federation in 1965 and served as the Federation's first president. Helped found the North Central Caribbean Volleyball Confederation, and that's NORCECA, one of the 5 zones in the world that you play through into qualification for world events. In 2013, he received the Silver Cross from the FIVB for his pioneering efforts and his extraordinary contributions to volleyball, his long service to the FIVB, and a man who served at a time when you saw volleyball grow immensely. Jacques Joachim. Great. Presentation will be this evening. If all the inductees would please come up and sit in front of your own picture. It's nice that we're able to be joined by 4 of the 5 inductees. You know, people have come a long ways for this, from Italy, from Japan, from Corvallis. Might take longer to get here from Corvallis than maybe Japan, I don't know. And from Hermosa Beach. Hermosa? Manhattan.
I just wanted to be
Redondo, I wanted to be. We'll start with the gentleman who could not join us, Jisong Wei. 3rd president of the FIVB from 2008 to 2012. He began working as a member of the FIVB Legal Commission back in 1982, becoming president of the commission in 1984. Active in the FIVB and the FIVB Board of Administration, he was a member for over 20 years. Also former president of the Asian Volleyball Confederation. You might notice the long service that so many people have. I mentioned this last night, that people tend to touch this sport and they tend to stay. Jisong Wei of China. Our next player was one of the world's best setters in the 80s and 90s. Trained under the 2009 International Volleyball Hall of Fame coach, Nikolai Karpel, the Howling Bear. If anyone was here in 09, remembers that induction. She helped lead the Soviet women to a stunning 3-0 victory over China in the semis. And that was in 1988, the Seoul Olympics, followed by an incredible 5-set comeback win over Peru for the Olympic gold medal. Gold medal in the 1990 World Championships. 1998 Olympic gold medal. Was also part of that incredible career. 27 different trophies with numerous professional clubs. Played for Russia, played for Croatia, and played in Brazil and Italy. Irina Kirilova. Steve, did you ask her parents? Congratulations, Irina. Our next inductee led the Swedish men's national team to a 7th place finish at the 1988 Seoul Olympics. A silver at the 89 European Championships, the nation's best ever performance at a major international tournament. 26 national championships in Sweden between 72 and 88. Coached professionally in Italy, in Belgium, in Greece, and most recently in Japan, where he tells me that at the beginning of his coaching career, he went and slept on the floors there just to learn from the Japanese system. And now he's winning Japanese titles. A man who I was pleased to play for during my career, Anders Christensen. Always with the theater. Our next honoree, 3-time Olympian. 1988, a 5th place, 92, a silver, and building towards a gold in 96. FIVB World League title in 1996, just before the Atlanta Games. Best attacker in the world at 2 World Championships, 90 and 94, as well as the World League in 90 and 91. He was the gold standard for so long. Played in 463 international matches. That's just the international matches, forget the professional matches. It's a wonder he walked in today. 6 pro seasons in Italy, 1 in Belgium, actually, against Honor. I also had the fortune of crossing paths with Ron Zwerver of the Netherlands. Our next inductee comes from Brazil, characterized as one of the most passionate beach volleyball players of the 90s. Won 55 World Tour medals, 55 World Tour and AVP gold medals. He and his partner, Emmanuel Rigo, who was inducted last year into this Hall of Fame, won the World Championship title on the World Tour in 1999 and finished 9th at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000. Silver with his partner, Ricardo Santos, at the 2001 World Championships. One of the first men I remember coming from Brazil to be dominant on the AVP Tour in the heyday of beach volleyball. Jose Loyola. Let's have one more round of applause for everyone. Now's the opportunity for anyone here to ask questions of our inductees. We do a little Q&A. I'll get us started. You think of something, let us know. We'll get the question relayed up here. Start with Jose first. Jose, why come to the U.S. at the time you did in the early 90s?
So I can put in this guys in cars to ride.
I mean, that's the main goal, because AVP back in the days, it was like, it's just something compared to NBA. You have the best volleyball players on the planet, and obviously, like everybody else, as a kid growing up, you want to play with the best. So that's why I came and moved to Brazil, from Brazil to the United States.
How much has the sport grown in Brazil, beach volleyball?
It has been growing a lot, a ton. I mean, as much as that, not as much as we should. But I think volleyball in general has been growing tremendous around the world. You know, it's like it's such an honor to be part of a select of people, you know, to be here and also play these sports for so many years, and now have the opportunity to kind of give a little bit back to them.
What made you gravitate towards the beach versus playing indoor?
I think it was a little bit more the lifestyle, the dynamic of these sports. I think indoor you have a little bit more of a rule set, you know, more of a team. I think beach volleyball, you kind of expose a little bit more yourself. You have to kind of manage yourself, not as a player, but also yourself as an athlete, and also have to deal with all that stuff that outside of that. Indoor, sometimes you just kind of go with the team. And beach volleyball, you kind of have a little bit more of autonomy of the thing and the whole process, I think, and also the lifestyle. To me, I think it's a great sport.
And I remember you coming to the United States and hanging out in Marine Street, I mentioned yesterday. Who helped you in that process? I remember Mike Dodd being there and playing you, but maybe he isn't the only guy, or maybe not the main person who helped you make that transition to playing and being a part of the AVP at that time.
There's a lot of people though that we can say that helped us. I think Mike Dodd was certainly one of them, and as well Tim Hovland too. That actually the first place we ran was from Tim Hovland and El Segundo, and I mean those two guys. I think it's like. That kind of brought us in, you know, from because we came to compete in 2 tournaments in Florida, and after that we earned enough points to stay in the AVP. I say, hey, why go back to Brazil? This is a dream. Living in California, come on, let's stay. And we never went back. 24 years later, I'm here.
Did he give you a good deal?
I don't know. Karch can tell a little bit more about it. I think he didn't give a good deal. He just gave the right deal.
Anyone have a question for Jose? Yeah.
When did you get voted Rookie of the Year?
That was in 1993.
It's a good year for beach volleyball, 1993 in the United States. It was a big deal that year.
That was the heyday.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hand the mic to Ron.
Kevin.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
Jose, who do you have here from your family?
Actually, I have my wife right there, Pam. It's been with me for 23 years. My daughters, Priscilla, Sophia, Juliana, and we got Juliana's boyfriend, Chase, right there with us. Also, my friend Larry and his wife Sharon. So we're all here. And of course, you know, my son back there doing all the, asking all the questions, you know.
Your family play? Your daughter? I know.
Actually, I have 2 daughters that play. One, she tried, but she didn't go far enough. And hopefully Peter can come up and step up and play some too.
She's 2 state champion, right?
Yeah, Sophia actually has 2 state champions from Redondo Beach, though.
Tommy
Like
Chase.
your son's going to Redondo Beach, right?
Right. The volleyball world continues to be a small place. Right overlap. Yeah, indeed. Ron, why volleyball at all? Why did you start playing the sport?
Why? Well, I think my father was playing volleyball at the time in the military, and then I joined them every Saturday, and I go to the hall and hit some balls against the wall. I was 7, I think, 7, 8, and I couldn't play soccer because soccer you have to be 9 years old to be on the club. So, and volleyball was 7 years old to join the team. So I did that.
What did you like about it? As you progressed, what did you really enjoy about the sport?
Well, jumping and hitting. the immense power that you feel if you take off and hit the ball. That's a kick. Still, not still, but.
Yeah. Of all the places you played, what was your favorite?
Well, I think I traveled all around the world, and that was great. Italy was a special place for us. I said us because, well, we formed your whole life around volleyball, so also for my girlfriend and starting a family at that time. So Treviso I played there 6 years, that was important, Italy. And, well, I like to travel and look around and meet people and different cultures and all like that. So I enjoy to be around the world.
You played this work? There we go. You played in 2 Olympic finals. Lost one, won one. What was the difference in that success?
Well, there are 2 ways, I think. Brazil at that time was worried about how I played at this time, at that moment, at that particular spot. Don't think about the past, just 1 point ahead and find solutions. Just find solutions. And that was, I think, what we did with the whole team. And certainly, there is a moment in the game, and even in the 5th set, that one of our guys, Bas van der Voort, doesn't know even that he hit one of the most critical balls. If he hits out, then we lost the game. So that's incredible, that the state of mind that we were in.
What did you see during your career in terms of the development of volleyball? How did it change during your time, and then how has it changed since?
Oh, well, you see a lot of more power volleyball, more hitting from 9 meters, right, from the net, and not so much domination anymore. But I think it will still, I think in 4 or 5 years we get more three-dimensional volleyball, I hope. That's what I like. And I see better athletes in general. And that's also very good for sport.
Questions?
So,
Yeah.
so my son usually started as 12 years old, so he started, did you start on the regular high net and just learn on that net? Or?
No. We started, we played mini volleyball first, so that's with 4 people, and with a lower net. And then we grow well, the net goes in 2 or 3 stages to the end, and then that's it. Yeah.
You're coaching now at Oregon State. You're coaching on the women's side. You're actually in season and taking a little time to come here.
We win, yes.
Excellent. Well, you guys are going to the tournament. You guys are definitely in for the tournament. When you're coaching, how difficult or how challenging is it for you to not have that control that you had as a player? Because you're pretty active and vocal on the sidelines. Even on the headset, we hear you.
Yeah, that's true. But that is true. But I hope to still improve. But well, first of all, when I begin in the Netherlands, like a talent coach, like junior teams, national teams, that was a tough thing because as a talented player, you don't think about it. You just to hit the ball or play defense or pass the ball. And now you have to think about the communication, how to move, and everything. But after now, well, it's almost I think 15 years now being a coach. I recognize all kinds of things, and I like to observe players and know exactly what I'm saying to that little boy at that moment in a certain time, and that's what I'm doing. But I like to be inspirational for the team. That's important. Not motivational, but mostly inspirational.
Anyone else? Yes.
Congratulations again. I would like to ask you, you got so much time, you play so much game, so can you remember the worst injury you get?
The worst?
Yes. If injury.
Sorry,
Injury.
Injury. Oh, I had a lot of knee injuries. That was a tough one, but never had surgery. So I'm glad that I have very good medical staff taking care of me. That was important. And well, my tendonitis of Achilles and my knees hurts more. And well, I don't have any muscle left back in my shoulder. The infraspinatus is gone. I hid it away almost. And well, but yeah, I'm glad that I had a good medical staff.
So we can say that volleyball is still safe.
It's still safe, but at a high level, you try to reach your own performance. And every time if you do that, you do every step a little bit more. And then you have to, I'm lucky that I get a medical staff who says sometimes stop.
If Ron was hitting at you, it was not safe. Was there another one? No? Okay. Ron, who do you have here with you?
Sorry?
Who did you bring?
First of all, I have my wife. I met her when I was 16 years old, so that's... And then next to her, I have my father. My father is, well, he's my age, right? So he's 80 years old. And I'm very proud that Joop is here. My former coach. That's great. Very proud that I represented here. That's great.
Excellent. Congratulations. As you could already see earlier with Anders, one of the things I was talking to him last night that I always appreciated about him is that he could get angry, he could curse at us, be upset with us in practice, but yet the humor was still there. The person was still behind that. Anders, how do you blend those two things? How do you blend the theater, the personality, the fun, along with the intensity?
I don't think about it. I don't think too much about it. I think you have to be yourself, have to be natural. But I'm very serious about my coaching and my sport. But right now, I think I'm not coaching, so I think myself. The sport, the coaching. study very much. There is not so much joking, but I almost never yelled to any player. Only American guys coming over. That's the only one in my career, I think.
I've watched the video. I understand why you yelled at me. Yeah. What do you like about coaching? What's kept you doing it for so many years? You at one point thought, I'm back in Sweden, I'm done. Maybe I'll do the beach with these guys and the fun vacations. But then you got dragged back into coaching again. Why do you continue?
I think I'm an addict. I don't take so many other drugs. And this one came very heavily to me at the age of, I don't know, 15 or something. And yeah, I devoted almost all my life to volleyball, coming from a country that didn't play volleyball. So I had to educate the whole country that this was a sport that was worth practicing, and they are still struggling. I'm happy to get well for a couple of years, but unfortunately it's back almost at the same point now. But for me, it has always been so interesting. There's always more things to learn, and I think that's what kept me going. And of course, I wanted to win. I want, for everybody that's in sport, wants to have kind of recognition, I think, or fulfillment, or it's a complex question to ask why you do sport. But there must be a drive behind it, that you want it so bad, and I was always willing to do whatever it took.
You coached in so many different places. You said you went to Japan to figure out what they were doing back when they were having success. You've had success in Belgium, Italy, Brazil, not Brazil, many different places, Greece, that's what I was trying to think. All those different places, what have you taken from each of the different volleyball cultures that you have touched? Do a couple things stick out?
Of course, when you're young, you're searching for knowledge, information, and I think I saw something from the first Olympic Games, already 64, but that I think I started a year after or something, but not because I saw it on television. Actually, I started to play volleyball because at that time in Sweden, you were supposed, as a young fellow, to be outside, do sports outside, make your own hockey rink, or skiing, or throwing snowball at each other, like that. But then they had fun. We find one place that they were blowing up a balloon type of thing for track and field people to practice there. And if you guys know, that's good. If we pretend that we are doing track and field, we can jump in the bed where the pole vaulters are landing and stuff like that. And if we just play volleyball for half an hour, we are allowed to stay there. But then I started to be so interested, and I picked up from here and there, everywhere, and depending on, I've been here for a century coaching, so it's hard to say which one. But at that time, it was in the beginning, it was East European dominating, but it was very difficult to get any information or to go there, so I didn't have any figure. Later, I got a good friend with Platonov from the Soviet Union, but that was later. Earlier, I saw Japan playing fantastic something else that really opened my eyes for another type of play, not 20-meter high or sets and like this. And so I wanted to come there. Japan came first to Sweden, and we offered them to play on grass outside, because that's the only place where people would gather to come and see them. If we had played in the gym, nobody would come. They accepted. Mr. Matsudaira and his gold medal team. And the old scoring, so I think we lost 50-0, 50-0, 51. That was my debut as a player in the national team. So my impact as a player, I think, was not so great. But I played for 7-8 years in the national team. So Japan was an inspiration. Later, USA, I saw, they had better circumstances than we had, but still, the team of '84 was coming from, not coming from selecting from hundreds or thousands of players that we always heard that, but in Russia, they have so many players, that the other country, Bulgaria or Poland or Czechoslovakia or whatever. But US, they had only a bunch of players, And with this bunch of players, you can, with a lot of work and determination and smartness and looking into the game, you could win a gold medal. And I felt I had the same position, just worse, so we could do the same almost. So that was an inspiration, and I met Julio Velasco when we were both in Italy coaching. These kind of people always influenced me, and I took my car, put up a tent in the woods, because I knew that Soviet Union wanted to have a training camp in Finland, and Platono wanted to go fishing, that's why he had a camp in Finland.
Yeah.
So I put up my tent in the woods outside, a few hundred yards, and then I could sneak in and see what they were doing, stuff like that. I did anything to get better, to understand.
It sounds like a criminal enterprise of some kind, some sort of violation. What do you see the job, how do you see the job of a coach?
Inspiration, teaching, I think much teaching, researching, motivating, getting the individual better, getting the individuals to work well together. It's so many aspects of being a good coach. Study, research, prepare, making people feel good, make people having dreams, having visions, make people understand what they have to do and see the potential, see the possibility. What can you do? How can you help the team? In all kinds of aspects, technical, tactical, physical, mental, dynamics.
No time for sleeping.
Very little. Just a little bit, rock and roll.
Questions? Yes.
Do you kind of have a big humor when you play well under pressure?
If I can perform well under pressure.
Because you have a good humor about you, did that help you perform under pressure, and how did you perform under pressure?
I think I don't have so much humor when it's pressure time. But I think everyone should be able to laugh sometime when something weird happening on the court. But I think I'm not a big laughing coach when the match is going on now. But maybe I try to compensate for that in the time.
Anyone else? Good. Anders, congratulations. Irina, so I've said often, in my experience with a lot of men's players, that inside of every setter is a could have been outside hitter. Why set? What did you like about setting?
Well, I didn't like to set.
Yeah. There you have it.
Because, when I started playing volleyball, I was 11. So, in this age, you make everything. So when I came to this famous coach, Beer, like you call it, yeah.
The Howling Bear.
I had 14. And he told me, and you are okay if you want to spike, but if you want to play volleyball, yeah, you have to set, and I had 14. And he said, if you going to work very hard, very good, maybe about 24 you can count good setter. So I didn't have any choice. It's why. But it's anyway was best choice, I think. Because anyway I still spike, even when I say.
Yeah, any opportunity. So what did you then come to like about setting? What did you eventually like about setting? When you began to do it all the time, what did you enjoy?
Actually, I like it everything I can. But maybe it's the best one. It's one you can play with blockers. So you make anything to make you spiker, put your spiker attack against one block. it's better without love. It's maybe, but I like everything.
So you played for Croatia, you played for Russia, you coached in Croatia, you've done some things in Italy. What sticks out in the different cultures of volleyball? What do you like about the differences in Russian volleyball versus Croatian volleyball? What have you found of the differences?
Well, Russian, I think, teach you to be very tough. You have to go just forward, but not behind. And all difficulties on your way, you have to come over. So in Croatia, for example, it was everything more easier. I mean, if you make mistake, it's not it's not big deal. Okay, so it was very weird for me for beginning, but after that I understood what it's very good because I understand if you make mistake, it's okay. It's normal. It's meant to be human.
Yeah.
So So played in different countries, Croatia, Italy, Brazil. It's I'm learning to different style to play volleyball, and I think it was a way it reached me like player and also like person because it's different mentality. So it was a great experience, all of them. Maybe a little hard from beginning, but like all beginning.
It was only 10 years.
Yeah.
14 to 24. What do you remember about the 1988 Olympics? People talk about the gold medal match or the semifinal, but what do you remember?
Nothing.
Nothing. Easy answer.
Nothing. I just remember couple things. What we came in this Olympics and nobody thought what we can up on the podium because in this period about gold it was already Chinese before the starting because China till 1988 don't last, I think, one official match.
Yeah.
So in the first match we was lose about Japan 3-2, and in semi-final we played against Chinese. So we won this match 3-0. It was wow. and this final when we played in this period we played also against Peru. It was very difficult matches, all of them, but we won always. But it was always difficult. And I don't know, maybe its semi-final was for sure. It's very difficult in any sense. And this final was dramatically because we was losing 2-0 and third set 12-6, and our coach took second time out. I don't remember nothing.
I'll bet he was yelling.
It's just because it was so much difficult, so much pressure. So much everything, and I don't remember even one point. It was really very stressful.
Yeah.
It's why. So sometimes I'm going to YouTube or something, some newspaper, and I can read what's happening.
Right. All the teams you played on, all the countries you played on, the difficult matches. Why did some of your teams win those difficult matches? What's unique about those teams? What worked?
Well, I think maybe because we were coaching in this way to be very hard, like I said before, and you can go behind, just forward, even if it's very difficult. If you lose or you win, but you have to go. You have to. It's one. You have to.
No choice.
Yeah, you have to.
Questions? Yes, sir. I like your acting.
Since you were the setter, were you like the captain of the
Were you the captain all the time? Since you were the
Yeah,
setter?
I was the captain almost all the time. Yeah.
Did you ever not want to be captain?
Well, in Russia, you can't say no. I don't want. You have to. Well, anyway, it's nice to be because it's you have to be very responsible, but it's also you have to be honored to be captain. So I think it's I didn't have problems to be captain.
Yes.
I watched the live in 1988 and 1998 for both Soviet Union and USSR and Croatia. I just wonder, for all the games you play, which one you have the deepest memory?
Okay. Which game out of every match you've ever played?
Maybe Olympics, yeah. It was very difficult. It was difficult also final championship, world championship in China against China. But Olympics, it was really difficult, very difficult.
But in 1988 semi-final, the first time I saw it play, that of course was devastating. Yes, we didn't have a very good expectation of our team.
So you had to switch teams? You then adopted the Russians? Yeah. Any other questions? Very good. Well,
I
congratulations.
have questions.
Oh, yes.
Somebody don't understand my English?
No. Excellent. Who did you bring with you? Who did you bring with you? Who is here?
Well, I bring my daughter and my husband, and I want to thank my daughter because she made me stop to play volleyball, because probably I still play volleyball now.
Yeah.
She can do it everything with me because she can, nobody and nothing to can compare with her.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all our inductees. I'll turn it back over to Steve Bishop.
To be fair, please introduce your guests.
I was just going to comment that Kevin, not only as a player, he made many mistakes for me, but also in this position. No, I brought two good friends on mine that also are my business partner, because in the summer I try to also squeeze in a lot of beach volleyball, and we have a company that's organizing beach trips for hundreds of persons at the time. So we have a couple that makes 500 persons at the same time, building courts for 40, 50 courts at the same time, and a lot of entertainment. Mr. Matthias Magnusson, Mr. Rasmus Johnson.
Thank you. I'd like to also recognize all of our guests that are here in support of Jacques Joachim. If all of our good friends here on his behalf, please stand and be recognized. It's an impressive support group you brought with you, sir. A couple of closing announcements. We're going to wrap up here. First, I want to personally thank all of you for coming out and joining us today on behalf of our board of directors here and all of our great partners and sponsors here in the city of Holyoke, the birthplace of volleyball.